Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of BTBtv. I am with you as always. I am Sing Mao. With us this week are Vanny, Audley, Eli, Ruben, and well, Ruben's technically not here, but Matt Clan and Abner will be our guests this week. Matt Clan will be here to discuss the big announcement we have, and Abner will be Audley's debate partner on Big Stream Battle. So, first thing up on the agenda will be that big announcement we have. Matt Clem and Vanny, if you guys want to take that away.
Ladies first.
All right, guys. We're officially announcing the registration and start dates for our Halo 4 Winter Tournament. Registration is going to open this Monday, January 7th. Registration will close Thursday, January 24th. And the tournament will begin Saturday, February 2nd at 10 p.m. Eastern. And it will continue that Saturday, that Sunday night, and the following weekend as well. It's going to be double elimination, weighted seeding, no DLC will be required for this tournament. It will be a best of 3 series. The finals, however, the absolute last game will be a best of 7. And we're going to actually cap this tournament at 16 teams to make sure that we can keep it short and sweet. And obviously things will be different for the league afterwards, but that's going to be our winter tournament. So if you want to make sure you get a spot, try to sign up early. Like I said, you're going to have 2.5 weeks to register, but you know, we are capping, so you're going to want to get in there early. And us announcing this means that John is done with the maps and settings, and I will let him go ahead and talk about those with you.
As of today, we set a deadline to make sure that all the maps and settings are finalized for the terms of this tournament. So, if you re-download any game types and maps from the official BTBnet file share, as of today or onwards, they won't change any further until after this tournament. So now is a good time that you can start to get actual practice in, knowing that nothing else is going to change. And hopefully this will see even more custom lobbies going live on a more frequent basis, and teams will be able to get practice games in much more quickly. I've also just posted a thread on the site with all the weapon and vehicle timers that people might not yet know. So if you want to go check that out, you should do so after this show.
Okay. So, what were any of the major changes from like the last time they were put up?
The biggest change I could probably say is that we've closed off the main ramp entrances on Solace that go from each cage to the basement, and that's basically to stop people just throwing bodies at flags and scoring them that way. It also makes the map a little bit more viable for Slayer, so something that we might be able to use in the tournament as a game type now. So that's the big one. Other than that, we took the wraiths off of Longbow due to a rather large public request to do so, and we've replaced those with mantises for the time being, in order to justify the presence of the laser and such on the maps, and to keep there being some reason for players to traverse the lower end of the map and not just have everybody piling into the top base. Most of the other changes are just small, behind-the-scenes things like with forge labels and such, or some. I noticed a grenade drop earlier was actually trapped in some geometry, so I just moved that today. Just small things like that should help. Just make sure the games play better.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Where can they find those maps?
In the file share of the gamertag official BTBnet, and the official and the BTBnet are separated by spaces. The file share
So
has
it's
all the
official
games.
space BTB net.
Yeah, BTB in capitals.
Right.
And each map will have at the end of its description, it'll have the game types that are appropriate to be played on it in brackets. So don't practice game types
Right.
on maps that aren't gonna
don't bother
aren't gonna
playing
ever appear.
Five Flag on Exile.
Exactly. Although if you could make Capture the Flag work on Exile when there aren't any flag spawns, I'd give you a medal for that.
Right. All right. Okay. If anybody missed that, we'll be going back over some of that stuff later in the show. This week we also have Eli with us, back for the first time since the first episode. He's got a bunch of videos and stuff that he will be promoting. Go ahead and let the people know what you got going on, Eli.
Right now I've just got a Tuesday Tactics series where I'm trying to help people improve their multiplayer skill level. It's more for casual competitive gamers though, which I don't think is what we're marketing BTBnet toward. But always something new to learn. And the other one is Breaking Halo 4. So that's either breaking the game, finding glitches and tricks, or breaking down the game and showing what the different specialization, tactical abilities do and things like that. So that's what's on the agenda right now, but who knows what the future will bring.
Right. I saw that Breaking Halo 4, it got linked by Halo Council earlier today on Twitter.
It did indeed.
Yep.
Well, they link a lot of my stuff.
Yep.
But that one in particular, people were kind of freaking out about because it's a tactical jetpack out of a map where you can get back into the map. So,
right. So like cutting around the
there's basically an invisible barrier when you hit the man cannon on a drift. No matter which man cannon you hit, there's an invisible ceiling pushing you down so that you land on the other side. And you can get above that invisible ceiling and just run across it, basically, and jetpack from the bases to halfway across the map. Basically, it's a reverse man cannon, only available with jetpack and the knowledge that there's an invisible barrier for you to walk on. So I think that it's like kind of a cool little glitch that's pretty useful. It could be used in MLG if they have jetpacks anywhere on the map. But, there's also people who don't like glitches and tricks like that. And
I just don't like the jetpack.
Yeah, that too.
There's always the jet. Once again, jetpack breaks Halo.
I don't think it breaks Halo 4 though. Do you guys think it really does?
I don't think it's as bad as it was in Reach, but I'd still prefer to see it as a pickup rather than a small item.
But it's still.
I agree.
Yeah.
Most broken item right now is camo. They need to patch that thing ASAP.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of camo either, my friend. What's wrong with camo?
No, camo's terrible.
But you can counter it. Wait.
Use Promethean vision.
My second episode of Breaking Halo 4 is going to show you why Promethean vision is not really a good counter to either stealth or camo.
Right.
It's Thursday.
Sweet. Have you had any new speedrun videos or anything recently?
I don't as of yet. I'm kind of waiting for there to be something to do with Lasso, like Legendary All Skulls On, and then I'm just gonna have fun destroying the campaign that way. And there's one thing I want to do. Do you guys know the 5th mission Reclaimer?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen, there's this guy called Halo History. He's like one of the best speedrunners I've ever seen. Completely romped through Halo 3. Now he's on to Halo 4, and he did that mission in what's called a pacifist run. No shooting, no killing any enemies on Legendary with no deaths. And he did it in like 17 minutes.
Wow.
What?
Nice.
So, yeah, that's kind of something. I knew it could be done, and I was planning on doing it, but he beat me to it. So maybe I'll do it in the future just to show my audience. But
break his record.
Yeah,
break the record.
It's possible. It wasn't perfect, but it's still very cool.
That's crazy.
I kind of want to try this campaign on Lasso as well, but I think I'll only do it this time if the enemies aren't as frustrating to fight as the elites were in Reach. That really made me never finish that one. I got like 6 missions in and gave up. Just got sick of the elites being able to eat everything.
Promethean Knights eat everything, dude. They eat everything.
Have you tried Lasso in this game? I haven't even touched it.
I haven't tried yet.
I tried it once. Like I started the game and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna do it.
Well, that's how it was in
Why
Halo
not? It's
3.
gonna take forever.
I tried doing it lasso, and I was like, this is impossible. There's no way to do it. And that's where I met Matt Claim, was through the Mythic group with Mythic Tyrant on Bungie.net. And everyone's
Right.
like, look, it's possible. These are the strategies.
Simpler days when you could just run through a room full of brutes with a pair of plasma pistols and shield them all.
Stand there, you pistol across the map, take off their shields instantly. Yeah, those were the days.
That is awesome. All right. We also have a
Wait,
bit
I'm gonna
of a
get
more.
naked if we reach 100 viewers.
Hmm?
Is that true?
No.
Yes.
Okay,
What was
deal.
that?
Deal. I really hope we don't hit 100, but yeah, go on.
Tonight's big stream battle is a bit of a controversial topic amongst a lot of players. I'm not going to personally state my side at the moment. I'm going to let these guys go at it for a while. But I'm sure the chat will explode with opinions as soon as we tell them what it is. I'm assuming everyone in here has their own preference already, right? Which one they believe is better.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know. I'm waiting to hear what you guys are saying about it. Yeah.
That's the first person I've heard that's ever on the fence.
No,
about.
I understand that there are arguments for both, and I don't think that the topic is as important as it's made out to be by a lot of players, but I do still have a preference.
Right. Okay. Well, tonight it will be descoping versus flinch for Abner and Audley. So we'll go ahead and let them go at it. And Abner, since you are the guest, you get first point.
Okay. Audley, do you want to kind of stick to BTB, or you just want to go through all Halo, or all of Halo 4 in general?
Halo in general. Like,
Okay.
you can focus it mostly on Halo 4, but like all of Halo. I plan on making points using past titles as well.
Okay. So in that case, I'm going to start off with Halo 4, BTB especially, and look at the DMR. When it comes to descoping in this game, just on long range, because that's our whole issue with the DMR, is that it's too long range and it's too much of a reach. I feel like the DMR is kind of broken with something, because I was testing the mechanic earlier today, and it's kind of easy to control because it only flinches up, and it's something that players can react to quite easily. And that since Matt, when John posted his link to the
Abner, it's a little hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're close to your mic or something.
Is it better now?
Still a little
Oh,
far
better now?
away.
You've got some static going on as well. I don't know if that's...
Static?
Maybe a fan or something.
Yeah, you got a fan on or something?
No. That's why that's weird.
That's a little better.
Here, let me switch my headphones to do that.
Oh,
Oh my.
yeah. He's in a wind tunnel.
Okay. Is that better?
Seems a little bit better, yeah. There's less...
Oh, yeah, the static's gone.
We can
Yeah.
hear you instead of that noise. Still a little quiet though.
Okay, that's probably just me, because I'm kind of a quiet guy. Okay, anyways, where was I? DMR. The thing about the Halo 4 DMR is that since you stay in scope, if you're doing a long-range encounter, especially on a map like Ragnarok or any other type of big impact map, you're still going to have that aim assist helping you out at that long range, even if with flinch activated. So as long as you can adjust for that, flinch is not a problem. Whereas in previous Halos, when you got descoped, you lost at any sort of advantage. So you were either forced to back down, or you had to be able to compensate with that descoping. And the person who knew how to get into a better position, or was able to actively correct their stuff like that, was better. And I think that's why, well, because of the DMR, descoping is a better mechanic. Yeah, descoping is a better mechanic in this game than the flinch, or it should be.
Still having a little trouble.
Yeah,
hearing you, Abner.
Still lost the last bit of your final point there.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Do you
Yeah.
have like a microphone attached to a headset, or are you using your PC mic?
Yeah, I'm using my computer's mic because I don't actually. No. Actually. No,
That was
not
better
using
for a
Middle
second.
Okay. No, my mics are all kind of screwed up. And this. No, I don't have any other type of mic that I could use that'd be better for this situation.
Okay. Just
about
try to stay clear then.
Okay.
Just like yell into your computer, wherever it is.
Just you. Okay. Fair enough. What points did you miss out on that I was saying?
It was basically the last couple of sentences that you spoke, you just fuzzed out and I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay. Anyways, like I was saying, what I was basically saying up to the end was that when you're talking about the Halo 4 DMR in this game, because of the fact that you have flinching, you still have that aim assist going on at when you're challenging someone at long range. So it kind of makes it easier to shoot. However, when scoping, the person who was descoped didn't have that aim assist, so they couldn't challenge at a long range, and they had to be able to compensate with that to be able to challenge someone effectively, or they would lose. Because of that, in this game you can kind of compensate much easier when it comes to flinching. It's the recoil is only ever upwards, so it's almost like just basic recoil, and it kind of stagnates movement quite a bit in regards to that. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that. I heard that.
So, your whole point is that the DMR is overpowered and that we shouldn't have flinch because the DMR is overpowered. We should go back to what previous Halos had.
Well, no, it's the whole thing that even I'm using the DMR because it's the easiest example to use. But the whole point is that flinching for long-range encounters kind of slows down movement because you still have aim assist at long range, and it's easier to take advantage of those encounters than it's not a good formula for kind of turns and movement.
So it's a combination of the fact that the game helps you aim too much, and the weapon that we're given aims too much for you, and has too much of a range at which it aims for you.
Yeah.
Because the mechanic of being knocked out of scope is the most unintuitive piece of shit mechanic I've seen in a long time.
Say that. I mean,
if Halo were initially started descoping, I don't think anyone would be confused by why it's not in Halo 4. Like, if we had flinch starting from Halo CE and then they suddenly added descoping now, I think the recoil, or not recoil, the backlash, the word I'm looking for, the backlash from the community would be much larger than it has been in Halo 4 about people having problems with descoping being removed. Because descoping makes no sense. Why should I be not able to look through the scope of my gun just because you're shooting at me? But I shouldn't have to disengage just because you got first shot. Or I shouldn't be locked out of my ability to scope because you got first shot. Now, if I can compensate and outskill you by like aiming my reticle down a little bit, I should be rewarded for being able to work against the gun and the fact that you're shooting me, rather than, oh, well, I just have to back down. That's stupid. It slows down gameplay to have to back down because you can't look through your fucking scope anymore.
well, the thing about flinching, though, that I think about in that case,
I can hear you typing pretty good, but I can't hear you.
that's not me.
That's odd. That's my clan.
So with flinching as a mechanic in that sense, it's also another game. And I was talking about my friend who plays a lot of Call of Duty. If you want to take it like that, the game that would have the best mechanic would be Battlefield 3, where your screen gets kind of fuzzed up. It's hard to almost react to your fire because you're getting suppressed. Anything like mechanic, if you're getting shot, you wouldn't be able to handle your gun because of how it works, because of the fact that you're getting shot. However, because both of the mechanics aren't necessarily realistic, we can't look at it in sense. And with regards to descoping, I think, well, in close quarters, this is why it's not an issue with nearly as much in 4v4s in Halo 4 especially, is that it's better in that case to challenge someone out of scope. So it's not something necessarily. And with regards to descoping, the other thing with other weapons as well, the sniper, especially the sniper rifle, is that in this game, the sniper rifle has kind of evolved into something that you have to be careful how you challenge. Because if you're challenging someone who has a sniper rifle, their flinching isn't really going to hold them back as much because nowadays it's so much easier to master the ability to the skill from reacting to flinching that you can compensate for the DMR or any other weapon that's challenging you. And that's one of the issues with Call of Duty and quickscoping and stuff. Yeah, if you've ever played Call of Duty games, guys can quickscope or even hard scope. We'll talk to them without any issue, even if you're getting shot, because of how easy it is to compensate for this. Okay. I'll come back now. Is that mic better now? Can you hear me?
We can hear you
That's
very
a little
good
bit
right there.
better.
Whatever you did, keep it up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me much better now?
Keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Never stop talking.
Okay. So you didn't hear everything that you said earlier?
I don't think anyone really heard anything.
I heard you mention something about COD and hard scoping, but I mean,
I got most of it, but yeah, I think nobody else did.
What else?
now we can't.
We
I can't
lost
hear him
you.
at all now.
You had
Now-
it, and then you lost it.
Can't hear me at all?
I see your
Barely.
mouth moving. I hear nothing.
You can't.
I heard one word there. I heard you say can't. And that was it.
Is that mic? Let me make sure my mic volume is not
That's good right there. Like, what are you doing right there?
much either.
And now it's bad again. I don't know.
I'm checking my mic volume to see what's up. Better. No.
Had you for a second. Keep talking.
Your keyboard really good. That's
Yeah,
better.
talk into your keyboard.
Is it a laptop that you're using?
Yeah, I think that's John.
Talking to John's keyboard. All right.
Matt, muting your mic didn't work.
And you guys, you're not picking up on.
Not really.
Rob, on my stream, you have this really creepy smile looking at Abner right now.
All right, we'll
Due
we'll
to
let you keep working on that,
technical
Abner, and we'll
How about
yeah, due to technical difficulties, we'll let Abner keep working on that, and we'll see if we can get it to work. Okay.
In the meantime,
Let's In the meantime, to catch anybody who came in late, let's go back over some of the stuff you said about the tournament, John.
okay, the maps and settings have now been finalized for the sake of this tournament. You can find them all in the file share of the gamertag official BTBnet. If somebody who's got access to the chat wants to post that gamertag, please do so. And the biggest changes that have been made since any previous downloads will have been to Solace, where we blocked off entrance to the basement from each ribcage, and also on Longbow, where we replaced the wraiths with mantises.
Okay. All right.
Vanny has the tournament start.
Yeah, then you have
details.
the tournament details, like how long
I
it's going to be.
do, for anybody who came in here late. The registration for our Halo 4 Winter Tournament will be opening this Monday, 2 days from now, January 7th. It will close January 24th, and the tournament will begin Saturday, February 2nd. It'll begin at 10 p.m. Eastern and go for a couple hours that night, 10 p.m. Eastern Sunday, and go for a couple hours, and then it will continue the next weekend as well. It will be double elimination, weighted seating, no DLC is going to be required. Best of 3 series, the final game will be a best of 7. And we are going to be capping the tournament at 16 teams. So if you want to make sure you get a spot, you're going to want to register early. Don't forget that your minimum roster is 12 people. So when you register, you're going to need to already have 12 people for your team. And you can have up to 16. And like John said, if you want to use this time to practice and get used to the maps and settings, you can go to the gamer tag of official BTBnet and download all of those to play scrims. Use the site and the chat box and the features to get in on scrims and custom games so that you can go around and get used to everything, come up with call outs and see where all the weapons are spawning and all that.
All right. There's a thread on the site that has everything set up for that, right? Or there will be by Monday when they're.
Well, there's an entire section where people can find scrims and ask for games and such.
Right.
So, a little bit of initiative should get lobbies started. There's also that feature as well where people can start a custom lobby via the site and have it post in the chat box, and they can list details in the lobby, such as how many spots are up and what kind of players they've got in the lobby, such like that.
All right.
I have a question. Are there other sites that do that? Like I got a message from a fan today asking, it's really fun playing in your community nights. I want to join custom lobbies more often. Are there any websites where people do this? And I said, I know for a fact that BigTeamBattle.net does, but I've not heard about anybody else. Have you guys? Do you have any other sites where people hosting?
Yeah, Molly is about to implement
a
very similar feature onto the Halo Council website, with the whole setting up a lobby, being able to get people into play. So especially if you like smaller game types, that might be a good place to check out once that goes live.
Very cool. All right. Good to know.
Yep.
And if you like Griffball, you can visit any of the Griffball sites. They all have chat boxes, and they're always looking for people to join their customs, which are going on every night.
I think it's griffballhub.com.
Griffballhub.com, griffball.info, and griffball.net is the other one.
Yeah, there used to be a couple other sites like Clantacular, and I'm trying to think of a couple. There were several. I think Halo Tracker does a custom night thing, don't they?
Maybe? They do.
Yeah.
They have right on their homepage. They always have a a list of everything that's going on that month. They'll have they have Halo Tracker Nights. They have different tournaments. They have contests. They have a lot of stuff going on that site. It's really cool.
Right. Cool.
Cool.
Yep. Abner, you got it fixed?
No, he doesn't have it fixed.
That's a negative.
Do you want me to take over in his
Negative ghost rap.
Take over. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Okay.
We'll hear what you have to say
Okay.
about Flinch for a bit here.
Okay, so Abner was arguing against Flinch, right? So I'll be
No,
back
he's
on.
arguing. Yeah, he is arguing
Oddly
for
sounded.
East
Okay. Okay, so Audley, could you reiterate your most recent point again?
My most recent point
Yeah,
was
just
like 15 minutes ago.
exactly.
Maybe just restart.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and restart. John, go ahead and give us your point for descoping.
Okay, I guess I'll start with the fact that if you
Give Audley a point for having a working mic.
Oh.
Burn.
then I should get 2 points because I could disconnect him right now. Okay, anyway, descoping, I think it's my personal preference as far as the mechanics go, because it allows players to move while putting shots on an opponent more effectively than with Flinch, due to the fact that it's more difficult to reacquire a target once you're descoped than it is if you get your reticle kicked upwards. That would be the major reason I would prefer to have descoping in place of flinching. Another reason would be that the sniper rifle, especially with flinch, is significantly more powerful with players who are used to dealing with recoil, and on very long sight lines, again, it can restrict movement even further than it would usually, which that could be considered a good thing, considered it's a power weapon, but on the other hand, it could also be considered a bad thing simply due to the fact that that one person has so much control over that segment of the game. It really depends on how you view the purpose of the sniper rifle, I suppose, in that context.
Okay, let's say hypothetically we're using a gun that shoots straight, so obviously we're not talking about the battle rifle.
Okay.
Alright. You have a gun that shoots straight. You get knocked out of scope, your gun's still going to shoot straight. You've done nothing to the person except make it a little less easy to shoot straight, assuming that this means they're out of aim assist range
Not necessarily true.
in a medium or long range encounter, because the reticle's not going to stick anymore. Makes strafing more powerful, but if you have a gun that doesn't shoot straight, say the battle rifle, and you've now knocked them out of scope, they can't fight back because their bullets are going to go around your head instead of at your head. They have to back down. You've slowed down gameplay because you shot them once. Well,
Oh, okay.
shit.
Wait, can you hear me now? Better?
Yes.
Okay.
We're kind of here, Abner.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Or I'm going to go back a generation and say in Halo Reach, you've got a weapon that, I mean, the first shot it shoots straight, but you keep shooting, it's not shooting straight anymore. So after you've knocked them out of scope, they're just going to back down, wait on their bloom to reset, then try to, poke out, get another couple of shots in.
Okay. Can you hear me? Now you can hear me?
It seems better.
Okay. Here, let me... Okay, you were just saying about the, You were just saying about how movement and shots in the VR, specifically, with guns that's, like that have spread and whatnot. Or can you repeat that again, because I didn't get that last part when you were talking about the my settings.
Saying that the VR doesn't really shoot straight, it kind of
shoots wherever the fuck it feels like,
Okay.
or rather wherever the game decides it's going to shoot.
Or if it's
So-
Halo 3, it might not shoot at all with that amazing registration.
Hey, at least one of those 3 bullets is going to come out, but the other 2 are going to stay in your clip. You can use them later.
Okay. Well, my response to that is that when you're talking about anything long range, I think that you have to throw the VR in the question because that's not personally. I don't feel like that's its intended use. You're going to use light rifle or the DMR anyways. But if you're talking about close range, I feel like at that point, it might be better to just stay out of scope anyways because of the fact that you have better movement without having the gun scoped in. So it kind of throws the question out of that and making it more irrelevant. I'm sorry. No. Okay. Did you hear that fine?
Yeah, I could hear you better there. Still static or whatever in the background, but could at least hear you.
Okay. Ollie, did you get that?
I have no idea what you said. I was kind of giggling about Ruben.
Okay. Basically, you were saying that the VR is totally worthless because of that, because of how it kind of shoots wherever it wants to, regardless of the user practically, right?
More or less. And in the case of descoping, that has a greater effect on battles because if you're in that range where unscoped is aim assist and scope is, or rather, unscope isn't aim assist and scope is, then if you knock someone out of scope, you forced them to back down just because you hit them once with one bullet somewhere. You could hit them with an AR and it would knock them out of scope.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well, in regards to Halo 4 again, what I was saying is that at that range, I feel like if you're, it's kind of irrelevant with regards to the VR because you're more likely to, or if you're in that type of encounter, you'd be choosing something like a DMR rifle anyways. And if
that
you
range is anywhere between 20 and 30, or 20 and 60 meters, which is top mid to either side on Haven. If that's not an engagement range in this game, there is a major problem with game design because all of the maps are bigger than that.
Well, that's the thing with this game, though, is, and that's one of the reasons we always tend to use the DMR of the rifle is that is how it is in this game, whether we like it or not. That the engagement range for the VR and the carbine is much shorter, and that's why you never see it in any sort of matchmaking, for example, even though it's matchmaking, compared to everyone who uses the DMR because it has the longest range of engagement. And the same with the light rifle. Once hopefully the DMR gets nerfed, is that they both have the longer range of engagement, so they're both going to be used understanding the map movement. Now when it comes to Haven, where that might be the case, but you're still going to try to get in close enough, or where we have games like in MLG, is they're going to give you all PRs, and the DMRs and the light rifle are both of spawn weapons, or not spawn weapons, and you pick them up because in that case they are understood as being more powerful at long-range encounters, or even in the right hands of the user, more powerful than the PR in any situation. So.
And if you're starting with a BR and let's say hypothetically there's descoping in this game, the guy who went and picked up a DMR is just going to be substantially more powerful because his gun actually shoots straight when he's knocked out of scope. If the DMR guy ever gets first shot, the BR guy has zero chance at any range. The DMR guy is going to keep him knocked out of scope at a much longer range and just going to keep pounding the guy.
Could I interject with a point that I think you should both consider for this debate?
Okay, sure.
Okay, in terms of the DMR compared to the rest of the rifles, it could be better to look at the DMR as this game's utility rifle and the other weapons as the other weapons being the battle rifle, light rifle, and carbine as weapons closer to very more situational weapons that you'd find on a map, such as a needler, an assault rifle, things that you aren't going to spawn with to deal with every situation, because the DMR is obviously so much better than the other rifles due to its range. But if you use the other rifles as a supplement to the DMR rather than directly in competition with it or in place of it, then you can think about the game's balance in a slightly different way.
Yeah, and I think I was kind of, and I'm totally in agreement with John here, but when you're talking about range in that case with the VR and the DMR, it's an understanding that there are certain situations where it's better to be unscoped anyways because of how much better movement is when you're out of scope. So when you're in close, especially on Haven, for example, you're not going to challenge someone while you're in scope because they have better reaction times, especially considering this game, which is unique amongst first-person shooters in that strake is such a huge deal. So understanding where you want to be scoped and de-scoped is totally crucial to gameplay. And so it's not necessarily to say, oh, well, the DMR has better scoping to hit people out of scope faster, so therefore it automatically becomes more powerful. It's understanding that if you're close up to someone, then you're more likely, you have to decide whether to be scoped in or out of scope.
That attitude of, I don't want to scope in to fight because I can see other people is a lot of the reason why people are so against VR starts right now in smaller maps. Mostly because they try to fight from ranges where the BR is not supposed to be unscoped, and they're getting the full extent of the spread. So they have no aim assist and a gun that will shoot straight if it's got aim assist. But they can't shoot straight without it. It will always spread and miss shots that shouldn't be missed because the reticle's in the center. But the game mechanics are stupid, and the fact that you get... Oh, you're not talking to me. So, Rob, you're distracting me. Stop typing.
That's not me.
The game mechanics in this game are stupid because we have guns that don't shoot straight. They shoot more straight when you're scoped in, and being knocked out of scope makes the randomness expound a ton, and it's randomness that cannot be reacted to because there's no chance to know, oh, hey, this bullet's going to go to the bottom left of my circle this time instead of, in the center where I fucking aim. I've got this Spartan that's strong enough to flip a goddamn elephant, but he can't hold a gun to keep it shooting straight for 3 bullets.
But can he flip a mammoth?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure he could flip Zealot if he wanted to.
Right.
So, basically...
If only the light rifle was a UNSC weapon, eh?
I like orange.
Yeah.
The light rifle is the really annoying orange of Halo guns.
The
apple!
Oh my god.
Oh, too good of an impersonation. So basically what you're saying is that because of the fact that the aim assist isn't as good and there's still much more spread out of scope, then therefore it's a stupid mechanic because you can't compensate for that. Because of the reticle, yes, no.
I heard about half of what you said.
God damn it. Okay.
Just say it again slowly and a little more loudly.
Okay. I can't guarantee you on the slowly part because I talk really fast anyways. But for the louder part, I'm saying that...
Pretend he's a foreigner.
Wait, but I'm the foreigner. Never mind. Forget what I said. So basically what you're saying is that because spread... since you're out of scope, spread is much more of an influence because of how the reticule is naturally. So it's kind of stupid compared to a mechanic like flinch where you can compensate in scope. Yes? God damn it, you didn't pick that up again, did you?
No, I heard that.
I heard the sentence about aim assist with scope.
Okay.
Just continue, assuming I agreed with what you said.
Okay. Well, my response to that is that, well, in that instance, again, it's kind of true, but you have to understand that you're going to have spread in a game because that's how the game is in unscoped. Even in any sort of game period. Since all first-person shooters have that reticule, they're all made that way to have that sort of spread, so you can't take that out of the game. And that smarter players will be able to compensate for that with understanding their positioning on maps and being able to compensate for that spread and knowing how to get high ground, for example, and throwing people out of scope. And I think that adds another element to the game where you didn't have previously with Flinch, is that smarter players will be able to know where to set themselves up to get first shot, especially if you have, if you're trying to get map control on a map like Ragnarok, where you have to be able to know, okay, I want to be here if I want to be able to de-scope someone and therefore push them out of a position.
And you don't really push them out of the position on maps like Ragnarok, though. I mean, look at Halo 3, how hard it was to push the hill, and it had de-scoping. Sure, if we had a weapon that couldn't really shoot people on the hill to begin with, but knocking them out of scope didn't do a damn thing. If they had the hill, they had the hill.
Okay,
The only way to break the hill setup was for either a sniper or a vehicle to go off and just get several kills.
Oh yeah, a vehicle's going to go off with the Halo 3 Spartan laser in the other team's hands. That's really going to happen.
My apologies for choosing a horrible map like Ragnarok for that example. But you kind of understand where I'm coming from, or no?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. I'm
Meh.
just saying, all de-scoping does is get someone to back down until they can get out of fire long enough to get back in scope, and then peek over just enough that they can see where you were. And if you've backed down, they'll just stare where you were until you come back out, try to fight them again. And then if they get first shot, well, it's your turn to back down and, not go anywhere. Well, it's just pitch a tent. Nothing's happening.
Well, that's also the same problem with flinching, though. When you have kids who basically can just compensate for the lack of skill that comes from flinching, you have people that can kind of hit you on constantly, and they're not really punished by the fact that they're getting shots. So now you have kids with the DMR that automatically has a longer range scope in, and therefore you're able to kind of take advantage of that, and you can sit even better compared to where if you were de-scope, like let's say you were camping on a hill, and someone got a shot on you, you had to be more careful. On the other hand, if you have flinch, you're like, oh, he shot me from here, I can compensate for that quickly. And that's the thing with Call of Duty, and I'm going to use the sample again, that flinching isn't really a huge issue because you can compensate for it quite quickly.
Okay. You're saying with flinch, people don't react to being shot?
Well, I'm saying with flinch, especially on a map like, or especially on longer range encounters, it's not that much of an issue.
Okay, because in the case of de-scoping, your reaction to being shot by someone is either to back down because you're not in scope anymore, or to try to get them knocked out of scope and get them scope locked, which is, for one, a very frustrating thing to happen as a player. If you get knocked out of scope and try to scope in and you're still getting shot, you're in a very, very not uncounterable. I've gone retarded with words.
No, I got you. No, I understand.
It's like a gameplay loop that's self-inflicted, but negatively, and you can't sort of...
It is
Yeah.
a very bad pattern in gaming for a situation that a player cannot control themselves out of. And scope locking is one of those situations. And it happens because of unscope. Like, if a player chooses to take themselves out of scope, it's not a problem. Now, I think we should focus on the argument of the sniper for right now, because that's one situation where I feel, in the case of flinching, the sniper is definitely more powerful than in the case of non-scoping. It is ridiculous, and I will concede that point.
Yeah, I mean, that one argues itself.
However, let's say, hypothetically, there's not as much aim assist on the sniper, so you can't just, gently tap your thumbstick down, and then the game's like, oh, well, okay, we'll just hold this here so you can land the shot before you get hit again. And we have a gun that, you have to move down. Well, your reticle's not going to slow down when you move it back down. And you may go down too far and pop a guy in the chest instead of, oh, here's an easy headshot just because, we've got this gun and this game system that we know people aren't very good at this game. Let's help them out. Aim assist.
Okay,
All
well,
right.
in that
Well,
case,
let's
Alrighty.
let's go ahead and call the debate at that right there.
I
Let's
didn't
go
even
ahead
get to
and,
say elementary, my dear Watson.
you did not get to say that, and because of that, you know what? Sud 2 wins the debate.
What? What?
No.
How did that happen?
Yeah, right? He wins. What we
I
do
will
have,
not
though,
let
is if...
Warheads win the.
Oh,
That's out of control. That is out of control.
some of you watching, or all of you watching the stream right now, have noticed that we have a new background. We have a new logo. Smith, the winner of our logo contest, got those done this week, and we got those up. Ruben, could you put those up on the screen for everybody to see how nice they are?
Why would you do that to me? I was not prepared for this.
I
weren't
told
prepared
you
for
you
this.
had
Yeah,
to do
we
that.
Hell no, you didn't.
I told you like over an
I
hour
did
ago.
Alright, watch
too.
this. We're just gonna look at a black screen.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise, the black screen. Alright. Here's a picture. Look, it's so pretty.
That's a black screen.
No, it's not a black screen anymore. Here's another
Oh, there it
picture. Oh, look. 3 pictures, you say? Oh, look, I can make it move. Whoop. Okay. See, I'll try to make it really big. Look, that one's big now. That's the is this the form header that I'm making really large? I think so.
There's another form header that has more stuff
There's
going on in it.
there's the Twitch and Twitter background. There's the forum header, and there's the Twitch header.
Okay, yeah.
The one that doesn't say official channel is the
So
forum header.
this one is the forum header. This one is the Twitch header. If you're on Twitch, you're most likely seeing that. And then this is the Twitch background. I am not actually moving the Twitch background, though. I am only moving a copy of it. Yeah. So they're pretty pretty, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's
And he will be doing a few other things for us as well. And we'll have lots of cool stuff. If you want to take a look at some of his other stuff, you can follow him at Smith Design. And you can also take a look at his DeviantArt page, which has a bunch of other stuff, including, oddly enough, the MT logo is also his from like 4 years ago.
Oddly enough puns, man.
Yeah, right. The oddly enough puns, I never let them go. We have a few questions that were also given to us on the site, and if the chat has any, we will also cover those. What do we get from the site?
Oh, I don't even have it open. What are you guys doing, Vanny? This is all you. I wasn't supposed to be doing anything.
I kind of zoned out.
No, you're
Would you
not
ask, Rob?
Vanny, you're killing Halo.
You're welcome.
Okay, no, I'll get them. Don't worry. Fucking ninja. Oh, hey, we gained 4 followers. Thank you, Wicked5, X-Booth, Wizard, and the King's Fool for following. You're cool. Alright. First question. Monster asks, what is being done for the growth of the community in what seems to be a diminishing game?
Well,
The first thing we're doing is trying to fix the game. And that's obviously our first goal,
Ninja
is to
streaming
fix
blood.
the broken part.
Does that count?
Well, I was trying to say that Eli has taken over YouTube, and that's a pretty good start for getting people interested in the game.
Right, yeah. That's right, yeah. Eli's doing a lot of stuff with the community on YouTube and
Keyboard.
Twitter, getting people working together and getting them interested in parts that aren't just the competitive aspect of it.
I mean, and a big problem that people are having with the game is how broken matchmaking is, and us bringing this tournament to you guys and a league after that, it will give you something to play that isn't so broken, and it should be more enjoyable, hopefully. And I
something
mean,
to
we're
work
going to be
towards, so
promoting.
That's
Yeah, we're going to be promoting to more communities and hopefully bring in more people, show them that there is somewhere to go and something you can do that isn't so broken and as horrible as matchmaking is right now. And, you know, like there's other communities that are doing that too. It's a slow start. The game's only been out for a couple months. I mean,
not even a whole 2 months.
We have time to try to fix it, and we're doing what we can.
I mean, the beta's been out for 3
Right.
months.
And really, it comes down to you guys. Right? It's not you guys in the chat or in the call.
Screen.
You guys in the chat too. It comes down to the people in the community making that difference and making that decision to stick with it and assist in fixing the issues. Just giving up on it and being like, it's broken, I'm out. That does nothing. You helped kill it.
most of you stuck through Reach for 2.5 years.
Right, yeah, exactly. You get stuck through Reach for 2.5 years, and that was awful.
Pre-update
you could at
Reach.
least give this one 2 months.
I enjoyed Reach. I don't know about you guys. I had fun with it.
You like
Stockholm Syndrome!
Stockholm Syndrome!
Yeah, right? Right.
I think
Plus
that
50 points,
a large
oddly, he
percent of
wins.
the hardcore community likes to bitch and moan about everything that they don't get their way. And I'm not saying that Halo Reach was a perfect game or Halo 4 was a perfect game, but I still think that they're darn good games compared to most other shooters out there. And so if you're in this space, then why be pessimistic for years at a time when you could be focusing on the fun aspects of the game? And that's what I try to do on YouTube, and that's what I try to do with my friends when I play the game, rather than just sit here nitpicking all day long. A bunch of nerds arguing around a campfire isn't going to solve anything.
Especially when there are so many custom options as well, and you can actually do something to alleviate most of the issues with the game, and like make it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can
You have friends.
you can either assist in making it better if you don't like what you're given in like matchmaking, or you can quit. And those that quit can't say anything. You keep your mouth shut if you quit. You got nothing to say.
Oh, people are still going to say things. I mean, remember Halo2sucks.com?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yep. Yes, I do.
Yeah, and then there was Halo 3 and people complaining.
And there was
about
also
that.
Halo 3 sucks. Yeah.
And then Halo Reach, and then Halo 4, and people are always going to
I know,
complain.
people complain
Every time I yell
You know,
keyboard,
I
it's
know.
the equivalent of me slapping your hand. Chill out.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever's beating the crap
You know what
out
I'm
of the
saying?
keyboard.
Seriously, it's worse than my typewriter.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, Eli. I'm completely correct.
Not me.
So when I hear everyone complaining, I think that there are constructive criticisms to be had, and I think that Microsoft 343 is working on solutions, obviously. They're updating the game weekly, which is kind of a ridiculous amount of work for them. And part of that, I think, is because Microsoft forced them to publish earlier than they wanted to, and it feels like a beta in a lot of ways. But
it's like Halo 2 all over again.
It's like what?
Like Halo 2 all over again. That
Yes.
got rushed
Does anyone
very
remember
badly.
the beginning of Halo 2 was terrible.
Yeah,
Like
it was.
3 melees to kill once shields were down. It was awful. And so I think Halo 4 is at a much
one
better
melee
starting
group shot.
place than where Halo 2 was. And I think it's more important to try and find ways to have fun with it rather than talk down to it all the time. That's not going to impress anybody. That's not going to attract people to your show. It's not going to attract people to your website if you're just putting down the game all the time.
And as far as constructive criticism goes, Bravo has been taking a pretty big step.
Yeah, he's
as far
been on
as
the job,
posting
what,
it. Like he's been
2
posting.
weeks, and he's been listening to everybody.
Yeah, he's been posting that he's actually like paying attention and that there are things in the works, like a revamped Team Snipers playlist with where they're planning to address a lot of the issues that people found in the first iteration of it. They want to re-release Team Snipers eventually, and he says that is in the works now. So since getting hired, he's been doing a pretty good job of keeping his finger on the pulse and trying to.
And we have the
at least let people know that
CSR ranked system coming out anytime now, basically.
Yeah, I bet that comes out with the title update.
Right, but to be, they said early
Early 2013, yeah.
next month. That's no time at all.
I'd bet it's before the end of this month, honestly. I'm predicting around the
I hope so.
18th.
I would. That's what I'm thinking too. Is near the end of the month. What other questions do we have?
Okay. We already answered another one of Monsters. And then his third one is, are the settings actually implemented? Can we outreach people who actually get Halo viewers outside of this community? So, i.e., are people
Yes.
other than,
It's
like, me going to stream it?
You mean like, who was talking to us about getting BTB settings on their show? Is that Walshy?
Puckett. No,
Puckett.
Puckett.
Yeah.
Puckett wants to put together a like exhibition match to put on his show for BTB from BTB Net.
I'm
And
assuming
yeah,
that-
we're working on that.
Admittedly, the Halo section of
now that
each
we
show
have our
has been
now that we have
down
our settings nailed down, we can do that. Just get out of here, Oddly. Your game sucks.
Yo, dog, don't hate on PlanetSide 2. That game is the shit.
I'm jealous that my computer's not good enough to even try it out. Otherwise, I'd give it a...
No, it's don't get me wrong. It's a great game for PC gamers. If you have a PC that can run it, you should try it out.
You know what you shouldn't try out?
But don't be surprised that you feel like you're playing Battlefield 3 with Halo 2 graphics.
Halo 2 graphics, dude.
Graphics
The
would be
graphics are
Halo
better
2.
than Battlefield 3.
I'm kidding. Calm down. Ruben's getting all butthurt that I'm joking about his favorite pet
Dude,
now.
I will dice your potato.
Right?
Alright, so Sandman asks,
Oh, what else?
are competitive teams pleased with the V1 setting?
Do you want me to ask?
No, because no one
I
gives
would
us
say,
fucking
yeah.
feedback.
I would say players are never satisfied with any settings.
Yeah, whatever change you do, whatever change you make, it's gonna rub somebody the wrong way, and they'll think it's the wrong change.
Right, you can't make everyone happy.
But as far as teams, I haven't actually seen a great many teams playing recently, so there hasn't been a lot of help for putting these settings together. Not as much as I would have liked. It's just been the same couple of team players over and over. I would have liked to have seen more scrims and for people to link footage and everything that actually helps make things move forward.
Yeah.
People are very conservative when it comes to actually helping progress settings. It's so much easier to just complain than it is to try
if you put a list of players that actually and a list of players that just complained, the list of players that just complained would be much larger.
If you have above a 60% approval rating, you're doing better than MLG V1.
Honestly, I don't think 60% approval rating is that bad for V1 for MLG. It's really not. I mean,
Wait, what's this 60% based on?
It was like when I last saw the number of votes, there was like 1,000 votes, and like
60%.
Yeah,
and
basically
400
60%.
people that said, "I don't want to play this."
Well, to be fair,
Right.
those 1,000 are probably the most active kids who always have something to play.
Right. But what I'm saying is that 60% isn't too bad
Oh, no.
for V1.
Yeah, I actually
And look how
agree
many
with you, Rob.
iterations, versions that the previous games went through. Obviously, nobody was happy with any of them.
Reach wasn't good until V7. Let's just put it that
Yeah,
way.
that's true.
Well,
Probably no spread.
Columbus 2012 was a heck of an event.
Oh, it was huge.
Wait, what teams are active on Halo 4 right now that do scrims actively? Other than Wake Up and Empty, obviously.
Side hard.
Sidehard,
I got you.
Washed Up, whatever they want to call themselves these days.
Is that Costa's team?
No, that's Mitch Tank Wheels, Mad Sniper.
Oh.
The
People who actually are washed up in.
Yes.
the Halo 3 Legends. Halo 2, Halo 3 Legends. I've heard rumors and seen a couple games linked of a revamped and renamed Regulators Warlords roster. I've also
Could be interesting.
Sudden Death still plays every night. And they said they're going to play if they can. they're adding people to their roster and stuff. So I figured they're going to play.
Some of the adding people who have schedules that actually mesh with other teams' schedules.
Right, exactly.
That's a nightmare.
We have Master Theory, we have Blacklisted, we have Wake Up, we have Perfect Mix is putting a roster together still. Like, they're still missing a few people. And
Pretty sure
I'm pretty sure we have at least 6 or 7 teams that are playing.
It looks like
we have
as well starting to form from players who were on speed from the end of week.
Yeah. Yep, that one too, and Revolution, and the other team that Meeks put together. What is that one? What was their name?
Did they have a name? And what about Iron Chicken as well?
I think they had a name, but I can't remember what it was. Right
Fox mixed with Kentucky.
Yeah, there's I think there's a KFC Iron Fox mix team being put together. I don't know about that. I hope they do.
I mean, it's only one tournament, so you can hope.
Yeah, Iron Fried Chicken. That was what they were calling themselves.
Sounds.
Iron Fried Chicken. Nice.
Iron Fried Chicken was the KFC IFX mix team that they're doing.
It's be good for your blood. It's bad for your arteries.
All right. Does the chat have anything they want to ask?
Agra had a question.
Again?
No way.
Question.
Agra with a question?
He asked, crap, I lost it. Do you have it up?
Have you guys ever thought of expanding BTB.net to multiple games, including ones outside of the Halo franchise?
No. We have not thought of that.
I have.
That might be something we could think of. Well, more than like.
Pretty sure there was discussion about a Battlefield 3 league, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, the discussion is pretty much, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, and we insert game, and it never goes really farther than that.
Yeah.
But
what game?
Yeah, there's been a couple discussions, but that's about it. Stuff like we talked about PlanetSide and Battlefield 3 were both brought up. Since those are also quote unquote big team games.
I love that.
Is the new Bungie game going to be BTB oriented?
We have no idea.
That thing looks amazing.
Bungie
can't wait.
Secret about the game. There's only been a couple of leaks so far. Like I can tell you the publishing schedules for the game, and I could tell you the basic premise, but as far as gameplay goes, they've managed to keep that under wraps.
The fuck is a premise?
It's British for premise.
Close enough. All right, Blinks had a question. What is the BTB net opinion on people who back out whenever they match a team of 8 just to save their KD?
Competitive players.
Lol is about it. Yeah.
Competitive players.
You're not really proving anything, and we all know it. So whatever.
Yeah,
waste your time.
I hope they're having fun playing the game that way, but they're not.
Yeah.
I wish
you can't follow that up with claiming that you're like some great team. And that's fine if you're not doing that. If you're just playing it to enjoy yourself and you're backing out against teams and then curb stomping randoms and that's all you're doing.
And really, you should still play Call of Duty because that's what the entire game's about.
Right. I don't care, but if you follow backing out on teams and curb stomping randoms with a message to somebody about how good you are and how amazing your stats are, you're trash. Stop. Go away. Stop doing that.
All right. Harold has a question. Are we going to bring virtual back to the site?
What?
Are we
going to bring what?
The virtual betting that they had before?
Oh, VBookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason it keeps cutting out every time you say what you're talking about. Like I hear the whole sentence except the word.
Ribbons. Party hats.
I heard betting and I thought of like sheets and comforter.
Betting. Yes, we are going to do that. Yes, VBookie.
That was fun.
Yes.
Can we have it so it affects players a little more this time than with just something that they don't get anything for at the end of like a tournament or season? Maybe have it.
You mean like whoever ends up with the most money at the end gets something?
Yeah, even if it's as simple as just if it's as simple as like a side award, a new title,
right.
Or, like
a side award super easy.
Whatever I feel like.
But as far as like winning something actual at the, I'll think about it. We haven't thought about that yet. I'll consider it.
Ooh,
Anything else?
He'll consider it.
Shut up. All right. Anything else?
There have been a bunch, but they've all got lost.
Wow. Well, if you asked the question
Somebody asked,
and it
what are
didn't
you
get
gonna
asked,
do with newfound fame? Because Sud2 tweeted you on Twitter.
did Sock ask that?
I don't remember.
Yes.
It's either him or, yeah.
Right. That makes sense. And Sock, I'll have you know I was already famous.
When is the BTB.net homepage getting an update? Point your finger at Carbon. It's his job.
He's
Point your
working
finger-
on it.
We're working on it. They
And
are
he's got
really
his short to defend himself, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that.
now that we have the graphics. We have the graphics done, so it'll be soon.
TM.
Agrar had another question. I know you're surprised. Have we considered making BTBnet swag to give out randomly to members who participate? We have considered making swag. I don't know if we're just going to be giving it out randomly. We will probably use it for prizes down the road, and have probably a Spreadshirt
didn't know you could
store.
make swag. I was bored
BTBnet
with
gear. Yeah, right. BTBnet gear is on the way.
Yeah, gear.
Just let
Well,
you know.
swag like wristbands.
Right. Things
we
like
can make.
wristbands and stuff.
Stuff
That's
to give
that stuff
out.
too. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
those. We have that
Buttons,
stuff coming too. But as far as
pieces,
gear
shit like
and stuff,
that. It'll happen.
like especially if you stick around for a while as a team and everything works out, I've looked into actually having like your team logo on stuff too, like prison treatment, official jumpsuits. Oh wait.
I miss our old
BTBnet
logo.
sweatbands when I go
They
try
got
hard, I
handmade
can
it.
test, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good logo. That was a good squad you had together too.
It was a fun time.
Fuzzy and
League sleepers, for sure.
Yeah, that's true for sure. The unexpected second place out of nowhere.
Mary is asking if we have a time frame for the next season. Depending on how this tournament turns out, it really shouldn't be that long after. So
No, basically, we'll get to look at what worked and what didn't work over the tournament, and we'll make some adjustments, and that'll be basically it.
Yeah, that's
We'll
something
basically-
as well. Your placement in this tournament will directly affect your seeding for the next event, whether it's a
Yeah,
tournament or a
seeding.
league. So really bring your all. You want to get that higher seed so you get easier games at the start.
So that means don't forge the maps and cheat.
Who
No
said
one would
that?
ever
Do
do
such
that.
It must
Who
be
would
your
do
conscience.
Don't no show games either. Turn up, give it your all, even if you think you're going to lose. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
trying is better than just giving.
Yeah, well, that's part of what weighted seating means, is that it's not just your like for this tournament, the seat if you were on a team from the last couple seasons of Reach, your performance in those will come into account, but whether or not you lose doesn't actually make a difference, not as much of a difference. We'll take into account your performance as well. Even if you lose every game, if they were all close losses, that makes a difference for you. All right, I think we can go ahead and call the night.
Molly asks,
Unless we have
who's
another
going to weight the teams and how will they be weighted?
The league administration and staff. will
Molly's
take care of
gonna
it.
sit on the other end of the seesaw and whichever team outweigh her
Yeah,
fat
that's
ass.
right. That's right. Yeah,
Honestly.
that's right. Those that
That's
outweigh
exactly how
Molly
it's going to be done.
will be at the top. Those that underweight will be underneath.
It's going to be
Alright.
an
Let's go question
experience.
for me, actually, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What?
Good.
Okay, thanks. I was going to ask, when there's a new season, are you going to be doing Standard League and Premier League, or are you just going to be sticking it to time for one?
It's going to depend on how many teams we have. Honestly, if we have a ton of teams of varied skill levels, we probably will go with Premier and Standard. But if we only end up with
We need to be stricter, a little bit stricter or more like define the line between the two a little bit better this time as well.
That we will as well. All right. As always, thank you guys for showing up to the show and watching and listening to us rant about crap and putting up with Abner's terrible mic.
Yeah, or an average case mouse.
Yeah, thanks.
Congratulations on the 15-minute extension.
Yeah. Remember to hit that follow button, and we will be back at the same bat time, same bat channel next week. And maybe we'll have some big news in between now and then with who our guest might be. We will be making an announcement on the site very soon. Get that registration in if you're at a team that's interested in playing, and we will see you next week.
And as always, get your applications in to be a streaming partner with us as well, because a lot of games during the tournament are going to be streamed, including finals.
That is correct.
Alright, another thing, streamers, please stop just playing Slayer over and over. Get some extraction in there. It's easily the best game type the entire game offers.
It's really fun.
It's really good too.
Played it for the first time last night.
Okay.
All right.
We go bye-bye now. Peace out.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.